time. Wow, it's been a minute since I've done that.
I know, that used to be like your thing. Also, sorry, but like my nipple is like right in the corner. And it's like every which way I move, it's like, anyway.
Mine are just above.
Lucky I should plop mine on the table. Wow.
Wow, welcome everyone.
Welcome to another episode of Polite as Fuck. Hope you guys are staying polite as fuck out there.
Hope you're having a lovely, when this comes out, will it still be September? A lovely... Yeah.
October, beginning of October, end of September.
A lovely fall.
A lovely fall, autumn.
Spooky season.
Guys, I've been living for it. I love it. Bought a skull cup already. Mm-hmm. Just more to come.
But you're not a pumpkin spice gal? Or you are?
I'll do a pumpkin spice, but it's just not like...
Not a pumpkin spice Oreo.
Yeah. That's disgusting. I love when we like the same things, but when we don't like the same things, it really makes me laugh. Because you were like, look, and I was like, ugh. And you're like, oh.
Never mind, we don't like those.
Oh, that's funny.
But Target has a lot of pumpkin spice, a lot of Halloween, a lot of fall things.
Target, yeah. That was a good little Target trip.
Yeah, we recently had like a back in high school Friday night. That's what it felt like.
It did. We like came home from school and Erica cooked us dinner and then we ended up like talking for like, I don't know, a few hours and sorry. And we're like, oh, what should we do? Well, we ended up going to get ice cream. Well, no, what did we do first? Target and then ice cream.
Target, yeah.
Wow, I just butchered that fun-ass story.
But we did something called the Target Mile, where you start on one end of the store and loop all the way around and see all of it. We looked at all the games.
There is a process. I didn't know it was called the Target Mile until that day.
I didn't either, but I'm taking
Do you know
that.
the process? Like, do you have a process?
Ellie's very popular and she forgot to put on Do Not Disturb.
Sorry, it's my mom, and even Do Not Disturb doesn't work with her. I always have my family off.
I didn't know you can select people. Mm-hmm. Wow. Ellie.
Sorry.
I don't know what we were talking about. Process of Target. Started the dollar section. Look at the women's clothes, the shoes, the like bras, underwear.
Workout, bathing suit.
You do that before the shoes. Then you go over to, like, the home decor, the, like, sporting stuff.
Yeah.
Games. Food. Makeup.
Audi.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
a great system.
Usually.
I could never go the other way, just personally.
It doesn't make sense. Like...
Why would you get your pharmaceuticals first?
Yeah, exactly.
Dumbasses. Anyway, it felt very much like high school. Just that was totally something I would do.
Yeah, because there was literally nothing else to do.
No,
it was like a Friday night, you're not 21.
And that was when the Walmart was in Carson, not the one in town. So when you were doing like a little Friday night trip to the store, you were like driving. Oh, such a vibe though.
It was fun.
It was so fun. I have a vivid memory of us, you and me in Jordan's truck. Uh-huh. Shout out to Jordan. Listen to that episode. Full on blaring Luke Bryan with all of her windows down, and another truck was coming like close to us, and Jordan, being who Jordan is, rolled down her window and was trying to like holler out the guy and like talk to him as we're going like, I mean, I'm not gonna call her out. We're fast on the freeway, and I just will like, that is a core memory of mine, just the three of us. There might have been someone else in the car, but I can't remember.
But they're not memorable.
Sorry. Yikes, if you were that person, sorry.
Anyway, this is not at all what we're going to talk about today.
No, what are we talking about? How are you? What have you been dealing with lately?
Well, if you could decipher anything from the camping episode, I did say this already, but I did lose my job. And so I've just been chilling, honestly. It's like a weird feeling because when I was at my last company, they did a round of layoffs, and I literally volunteered to be included in the layoffs because I did not want to be working there anymore. And I just was like, applying and looking for work is a full-time job in and of itself. And I was like, I don't have the mental capacity. Anyway, I worked out that I got another job, and so I just went to the next one. But they had a lot of layoffs. This was the third time in the less than a year that I worked there, which is crazy. It's more of just the feeling of like it being a decision that I had no part in, which is the weird part.
Yeah.
Like, I'm totally fine not working there. I'm fully.
Yeah.
It's okay. But it's more of that, like, it didn't happen on my terms.
Yeah.
So that's been weird, but I've been navigating it. But you made a decision.
I did. I made a decision to leave my job. Surprise, surprise. Ellie always leaves everything. No. There's not a lot I want to say or I really want to dive into except for the fact that, like, I needed to make a decision about where I was at in my life. And for those that don't know, I've been doing, like, after-school program stuff for a really long time. And I've loved it. It's how I started. It's how I started working with kids, how I decided, like, I want to work with kids for the rest of my life and I'd be okay. But I feel like what I've learned with informal education is it draws a certain crowd, and if you're good at it, they're going to want to hold on to you because they're always going to be a staffing issue, so they're going to want to, like, hang on. And at the beginning of my, like, journey through informal education, I was like, oh yeah, like, I'm liked, I can do it, kids like me, parents like me, my where I work likes me. I could go from just, like, leading a group of kids to, like, leading things and doing things. And I was able to, like, grow in it. And it just, like, got to a point where it was like, I don't even know how I got here and I don't want to do it anymore. And this year was really difficult because I left a job before summer or right at summer because I did not like the company that I worked for, and they were leaving the school that I was at. And the only reason why I really wanted to, like, stay with kids is because I wanted to, like, stay with a group of kids for a period of time. And so I was like, oh, this will be perfect. I'll go in and, like, apply for this job. Also, LOL, I like how I was like, I don't want to dive into it. But also, I'm going to just give out my whole 10-minute spiel.
The whole story.
But I'm not going to stop.
And you shouldn't.
But so I decided, because they were taking on the school and, like, that's what I really wanted to do. Well, it, like, quadrupled in size and students and staff, which means parents, which means responsibility, which means like anxiety if, like, you're me. And it was just, like, really, really miserable. And I was coming home, like, I don't know, I felt a difference. I don't know if you could see a difference. I feel like I can be a little hard on myself because to me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like a quitter. I'm giving up. I'm so mad at myself. Like, I should have just hung on. But I think in the back of my mind, like, I was very, like, frustrated and not happy with it. And it was, like, at least for me, affecting me, like, when I came home and stuff. Different than last year. I don't know, you live with me, so I don't know if that's, like, true or if I'm just making it up. But I was just, like, playing with the idea, and I kept on going back and forth. And it was, like, I would come home stressed, be like, I'm going to quit. And then the next day I'd be like, no, I'm not. I love this job. And it was becoming, like, I couldn't even vent about it because I didn't even know what to say anymore. And I just, like, took a weekend to, like, not even think about it, but just, like, look at jobs or kind of, like, picture my life differently and just, like, I don't know, imagine that and what it would feel like. And I woke up one morning and was like, no, this is it. I'm doing it. And, like, it was like, it felt very similar to, like, when I decided to move here, which is, like, a toxic trait of mine. And I recognize that, but
I don't think it's a toxic trait, but keep going.
But I just, like, woke up and I was like, no, this is the decision. Like, I know it's right. I'm done. You know, I wasn't, like, asked to leave or anything like that. I didn't, you know, wasn't whatever. What are you called? Terminated? That seems so horrible to say. But
I know.
Anyway, I decided to leave, which in and of itself, like, creates, like, stress and like, a sense of, like, what the fuck. So we're both unemployed.
Funemployed.
Okay,
I have a few things that I want to say to what you just said.
Okay.
The first is that I am so proud of you. And I really do admire you.
You're going to make me cry. Okay.
It's true. Like the fact that you were like, I am unhappy. I don't deserve to feel like this every day. Mm-hmm. And you did something about it. That took me 3 years. I put myself through that for so long. Obviously, it's like very different situation, but like the fact that you did something about it, I think is amazing. And I don't think you're a quitter at all. I think you have self-respect. And I think that you know that you are worth more than what you're being put through.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. So,
Thanks.
like, that's when you're like, I feel like I'm a quitter. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, I wish I had the guts to do that. I wish I had, like, whatever. I don't have regrets, but, like, I really admire you for doing that. And I feel like, as scary as it is to, like, not know what's next, I think that's also, like, the coolest feeling of, like, you can literally do whatever you want now.
Yeah. And I think that's where my mind is at. Is I am really like in the unknown. It's clearly I clearly don't want to be in this field anymore because I just went through a company that I really, really did not like. I didn't like anything they stood for, like to their principles and how they executed their plans. It was fucking horrible. Mm-hmm. And then for me to go to a company that like has different types of programs and they share a lot more information with you, the company was so much better. To then go into a almost exactly similar setting except for with a better company and a lot more responsibility, for me to feel like almost the exact same, I'm like, this is not it then. Like, this is not it. So like the stepping into this unknown with like literally I can try anything. Mm-hmm. Like, just this is the time. Like, not that this is the time because I don't think there's ever a perfect time, but an opportunity for me to just like figure shit out. And it's honestly like, it's scary, but it's exciting too. Mm-hmm. To like just see. Yeah. I don't even know.
I don't either. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Definitely in different places, but very similar places as well. I still have a few more weeks left, but it's like nearing. Mm-hmm. But I was in therapy last week, like right after I made the decision, and obviously like because it was on my brain, it was like the first thing that I was talking about. So stressed out about whether or not like I made this right decision. And I also talked about like I'm at a point where I'm like, I literally don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. What am I gonna do? And she had asked like if I would be interested or if I've ever taken an assessment test. So I remember taking like one of these like career like aptitude tests or whatever the fuck you call them in high school or middle school. Did you take one in high school or middle school?
I don't think I ever did.
Or in college? Nothing like that? Really?
No,
I vividly remember taking one, and I am almost certain it's the exact same.
Really?
Which is frustrating. So Erica and I both decided to take a few different ones.
Yeah, they're all the free versions.
Sure, yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe there's like a more legit like personality, super intensive, but this is a summation of 3 different tests.
Yeah,
that we found online.
And I was doing that, and I was just I was interested. Like I think I paid a little bit more attention now, but I'm like 99% sure that this is the exact same that I got. So like seeing that is like, I'm a little nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to know what yours are. Which one should we start with? Should we start with the 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one is 123test.com, so seems really valid. But the personality type that I have is ASIECR, which is all of them, but this is just the order. Okay, so it's artistic is my most preferred, followed by social and investigative, which is interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Do you know what yours?
I literally have to pull my
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Oh my god, so funny. Artistic, social, and realist.
Interesting. Okay, so we're like pretty... My realistic is the last one of me.
I could see that.
Why? What do you say?
I feel like I'm a little bit more of a realist than you.
Yeah. I think I'm more of a... I don't think you're not a dreamer or whatever, but I feel like I'm like...
I think you just know how to, like, execute things. Like, you have a dream.
Sorry. I'm drinking Arborn? Air? Wait, Airborne.
Arbonne.
Isn't that the
That's
pyramid
the
scheme?
You've been having an issue.
I have. I'm drinking Airborne because I'm
Arbonne.
Anyway, I just choked on it. Okay.
As I was saying, I feel like you know how to execute things. So you can have a dream and you're not, like, my first thought is like, oh, this would be so cool. Ugh, but I don't even know if I could do that. So that's like, there's like too many issues where you're like, issues, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, because I haven't taken one of these in college, but I did take one.
Oh my gosh, investigative is my last one.
Really?
I just saw that. Sorry,
That's
I had
funny.
to. That's really funny.
I've taken one of these before, just not in high school or college. I've taken one after I got my degree. And these answers are very similar. Mine is very similar, which is why I thought it was funny. Because all of mine are like therapist, drug and alcohol counselor, music therapist, art therapist, interpreter, translator, which like these don't have, it doesn't ask if you speak another language. These are just things that they're suggesting. Mm-hmm. And they're all things that I like. Marriage counselor, communications lecturer.
My first one is choreographer.
Like dancer.
Choreographers create sequences of movement in which motion, form, or both are specified.
That's your first one?
That's my first one. So, yeah.
You love dancing.
There's no hope.
I mean, I do feel like you'd be like a good like salsa teacher if you knew how to dance.
Yeah, if I knew what steps were or how to move, I'd be like, your left leg out and shake it all about. Like, that's literally what
that was funny.
That was funny. Literally, that was second one, dancer. So the choreographer comes before the dancer.
Wait, okay, but we should go to a dance. There's a really cool like dance studio over here.
I just feel
Just a
like
side note.
I don't know. I've took Zumba a few times and I was not pleased.
Why?
Because I don't know. I'm like steps. Like, let me just do a thing.
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
Music therapist. Yeah. Entrepreneur. Translator.
That's funny that we have. I think choreographer was on mine like at the bottom.
Architecture lecturer. It's like, I like these tests because I do think it provides insight on like the kind of person I am. It's just hard because I get frustrated when taking them because I'm like, I don't, like sometimes like one of them was like, would it be cool to like look through a microscope at your job? I'm like, yeah. Like,
Really?
that would
I
be
said
cool.
no. I don't want to.
Well, that would be like cool if I was like studying plants, but if it's like, you know, there's no like fun job. It's like if that was my job, I'd be some like in a research lab looking at God knows what for 8 hours a day or more. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun. Like going off into the wild and plucking plants like biology. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I
Whatever.
think there's aspects of that
I guess.
for biology. Okay, well, overall, I think this one was a little bit out there.
Yeah.
Like, some of these, I'm like, I could see it, but I'm also like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just feels not 100% me.
I do like the breakdown. Like, it gives you the graph, and you can see, like, where, if you're, like, artistic or social, and you can kind of plug it in. Obviously, I'm not going to choose choreographer, but to see that, like, art and social, you know, those things like
mixed together.
yeah. I can come up with my own thing on my own.
You do create like programs for kids and stuff, which is a form of like choreography, just not dancing.
That's true.
Like that's an aspect of like creating,
getting them all in a line to go to the bathroom.
things.
That takes fucking work, man. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I was more so thinking of like the activities and the thing. Like,
Right.
you have to plan that. And
That's what I'm saying, is like, not to go off on a side tangent again, but like, I didn't, all of the aspects of my job that I liked were doing those things, and I don't get to do any of that. I can't even tell you the last time I went on like Pinterest, for example, just to find like fun art activities to do with kids or like a game. Like, I don't get to do any of that. I'm like, what the fuck? This is boring now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Answering emails? No, thank you.
Which is why, not that I'm pushing you to be a teacher, but I do wonder if you have a dedicated classroom, if you'd be able to have more of that.
Yeah.
And be able to like decorate how you want and plan things, and you're with this smaller group, not 5 bajillion children.
Seriously. No, I know.
Which is a lot. Okay. The other one is mynextmove.org, which was like a government website.
This one was interesting. So on this one at the end, you can choose like the levels. Which one? Can we do 3 first?
Wait, can you tell me what your profile is first?
Social, artistic, enterprising, realist, investigative, and then conventional.
Interesting. We're so similar.
What's yours?
Social, artistic, enterprising, conventional, realistic, investigative.
It's just the last few that are a little bit mixed.
Yeah.
Our main, I think that's spot on though.
I do.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
That like our highest is what we prioritize.
Mm-hmm. That's why we get along so well.
I want to know though. So my social was 29 and my artistic was 23. What were yours?
It was, social was 32.
Wow.
Artistic, 29. Enterprising, 24.
So a little bit more spread out.
Yeah. I'm like really aggregated right there.
Yeah.
All my other bars are really little. But, okay, so this is so funny. So in this, you can pick like your like highest degree of education that you'd want, or like how difficult of a job it would be to get.
Yeah.
So when I pick 5, which is like having like a master's or a doctorate or something, literally the first one, just take a wild guess what you think the first one is.
I have no idea. I want to say, I have no idea.
Clergy? Which is literally a pastor.
Preach, baby, preach.
On the job, you would pray
Why
and
is
promote
that 5?
spirituality, prepare and deliver sermons or other talks, read from sacred texts such as the Bible, Torah, or Quran. Quran? Is that how you say it?
Do you get money for that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, duh. Ugh, what rock have I been living under? I literally just looked at mine. That's not my number 1, but it is on there. That's embarrassing.
That's weird.
That's so
Why
weird.
is that listed?
Well, honestly, because I feel like this is what I don't like about these tests, is because they like are like, oh fuck, we gotta fit you into a box and make up some stuff. So what's like the most like artsy fartsy out of this world, but also like social justice? Like, of course this shit comes up, but
Yeah.
you obviously don't know me, computer.
But I think it's interesting because like that, and then on the other one that we just talked about, it was like philosophy professor, which is just like,
I just think sometimes they just put professor behind it, or lecturer or teacher or whatever. Post-secondary is like it's the next step. Like once you're done doing the thing, then you can go on and teach it. And so I think they just like kind of hatch it on the back there.
yeah, it was more so the fact of like, I'm not like, this is the right way and we have to do it this way. So I feel like with like philosophy or something in like spirituality, there's no right answer and everyone like has a different journey.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy public speaking. I enjoy working with groups, but I'm not going to become a priest. I hate to break it to everyone.
Darn. I would join that church. My first one is architecture teacher, post-secondary. Also, don't know what that means.
An architect?
Post-secondary. The fuck is that?
Like, I think that's...
Like university?
Yeah.
Or masters? Why can't they use real words?
I don't know.
Art therapist, art drama music teacher, post-secondary.
You would be such a good art teacher.
Yeah, I would, actually. Be a good art teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you should do that.
I don't even know how you do that. But I feel like I'm not, like, I don't have any, maybe, we'll see. I feel like elementary schools nowadays just kind of, like, not hire anybody, but, like, the PE teacher used to be an ex-teacher but wanted to take a step back, so they just threw her into PE. And then I don't know about the art teacher. You must have some sort of, like, you have to have, like, an art credential. What do I do? Just, like, show them my paintings and ask if it's okay? No, because you have to do, like, theories and study different... I mean, even with elementary school, they were doing, like, Picasso and something. I mean, I guess they just give you a curriculum.
You can figure that out.
Oh, that's true. Make fun of it. I would be good. And then, yeah, clergy is on there, too, whatever that means. Well, we know what that means. Educate, yeah, and teaching. All of this is teaching.
So were mine. Mostly therapist or teacher.
So you think about switching it up? Do it together.
So the first one on the level 4 was an ESL teacher, which I did do for a year. And I looked up ESL jobs, and there's one at the college. And part of me is like, that could be interesting. See, the thing is like, and I felt this way, I think I've said this before, is like, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket of a job and expect it to be like, oh, this is my life's passion. Yeah. I don't think everyone has that. I think that I enjoy a lot of things, and I think that would be a fun job. Like, if I was, like, a professor in the evenings or whatever, and then, like, also taught spin class, and, like, also had the podcast, and, like, I need variety.
Same.
Because the thought of going back to a 9-to-5 makes me want to
be sick.
Be ill.
Yeah, same.
Like, I can't do it. I'm looking at jobs online and I'm like, no, I don't want to.
I know.
I don't want to do it.
I know. I think it's hard, though. I mean, I think it's a little, you've had the taste of it. I feel like, yeah, you went to a 9-to-5, but you had, like, the ability to, like, work remote. I feel like I can't even comprehend what a life like that would look like, just because I haven't gotten the opportunity, and I do like that interaction. But I feel like we need to let go of the idea of, like, you're only productive 9-to-5, or that's the only time that you can work, because I just don't think that that's true. Yeah. And I feel like you can still get interaction with people and be creative and find your outlet and still talk with people without being, like, in this 9-to-5 box.
I agree. Yeah. As you were saying that, it made me think of when I was getting my certification, my ESL certification, which is, did I already say this? English as a second language. I wasn't working full time. This is when I was living in North Carolina. I was working like maybe 30 hours at most a week. It was usually like 20 to 25. And so I would do that class. I would like work at the community college to get my like hours in the evening, and then I would have like on some nights my ceramics class after. And I'm thinking, and I'm like, I loved that. It was such a good schedule, and I didn't work Fridays. I had 3-day weekends every weekend. I did not have a lot of money, because one, I was teaching and that was free because it was my hours, but happy. Like I didn't care. Yeah, it was literally it was not until I was broke and like, I have to come back and this is what you do now. Like, I have to be an adult. And then I experienced it and I'm like, this kind of sucks, actually. Yeah. I don't really care. I can have all the money in the world. This is what I said when I was like, had the highest salary I've ever had at my first company. And I was like, I can't even do anything with it. Because I like get off of work and I just want to go to bed. Yeah. And I'm unhappy. Yeah. It doesn't matter. That's
what I was thinking too, is like, as much as I like the idea of getting like a steady paycheck, and I'm going to obviously miss that. I mean, I'm going to get another job, but the thing is like, I'm bending over backwards for like, one, not even that good of money. For anybody that knows, like, education is like the lowest of the low. But as far as this, it's like in the highest position that I can go while still working with kids. for something that I'm not even enjoying, and I go and I don't even get anything like with. Like, I would much rather, I don't even do anything with my money anyways besides like spend it on dumb shit. It's not like I'm saving all of this money for like a house, which I guess I should, or like all of these things. Like, it's just basic. So like, if this is my life right now, what can I do in order to like be the happiest that I can be? And I wasn't doing it. So I'm like, if I figure this rate out now, the rest will come. Like, if why am I going to pick right now to stay with like a horrible job to be like, oh my God, because I'm about to buy a house. I'm like, what? No, I'm not. I'm literally not. It's not even in my future right now. Anyway.
Especially at this age. Like, you don't have kids. You don't have a mortgage. You don't have all these things that, like, I feel like people stay in jobs that they hate because they're like, I need a paycheck. Yeah. I can't literally go without need it. That. Yeah. And... oh, this is one side tangent I did want to bring up. Health insurance. Because I have to get health insurance. It's literally required by law in California. Yep. You have to have health insurance. And I have, like, because I had good health insurance at my last company, I had the option to pay to continue to keep that health insurance. And it was almost $1,000. It was $753 a month.
A month.
A month. To keep that insurance. And I'm like, heck no. And then I'm looking at the options on like the Cal Care or Cover whatever website.
Yeah.
They're all over 200. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that is insane.
Yeah.
I have to spend that much money and I barely go to the doctor.
Yeah.
It's literally just the dentist and the eye doctor.
Yeah. I could talk about health insurance forever. And it frustrates me. I'm the kind, it's my personality, but I'm like, I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to change the system. Like, the system needs to be changed. And I feel like that is like a whole other conversation, but it really fucking sucks that this is such a huge factor when it comes to like unemployment and people trying to figure out what the fuck they want to do. Yeah. I think so many people nowadays, and are especially in similar positions as us, is find this like freedom of being unemployed, or at least like figuring out what you want to do, instead of this like our parents of like this grind. They're even starting to realize, like, should we have done that? I don't know. It kind of depends on like how you grew up, but I feel more people are trying to figure out what they want to spend their time doing, rather than like what's going to bring home the money. And the factor of health insurance is like really scary. I think about like kids, like parents, like that. It's just like it's all fucked up.
Yeah, when I was reading the website, it was like, if you don't pay health insurance, you'll be fine in taxes.
Yeah.
And so it was like, so for a family of 4 in a year, it would be like $12,000 or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so because I have saved money and I had a good paying job and I'm in a place where I will be okay for a few months without like draining all my money.
Yeah.
I'm able to like breathe for a second. But someone who's trying to provide for children and might not have had as high of a paying job is really fucked.
Yeah. Literally.
Like, how would you find that money if you don't have a job?
Yeah. And this is where I think a lot of like my feelings of where I'm at right now is because I go back and forth. And I don't know if this is because like the way that I grew up, my parents, maybe like what's in the back of my mind, but I have to play like devil's advocate and be like, I don't know how to word this, but like, I find myself being hard on myself. Like, I'm so fucking privileged to just be like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to quit. To know that, like, worst case scenario, my family would have my back. Or, like, I'd be able to figure out the health insurance piece. Or, like, all of these things. Like, that's not an option for people. And now, like, it just scares me, too. Because I'm like, it's not really an option for me if I'm, like, really thinking about it. Like, I just up and made this, like, crazy decision. And so I feel like, oh man, like I kind of wish I had those values that were instilled in our parents, because then I wouldn't be so like, like whiny that I feel like I am now, and be like, oh, I just got to stick it through. Or even like take it a step further and be like, if I had this feeling back in college or right after college, like would I be in a different spot? It's just like that passive like what if still thinking, because I do feel like all of these things, and if anybody else is in a similar position that I am in with a kid, or You know, like a lot, I'm not even going to say if, like there are people in my position at my company that the only reason why they haven't lost their job is because where they're at, and San Diego being expensive, they have a kid, their husband's gone, their partner doesn't, you know, they don't have a partner, they're a single parent, or like they're just trying to, like there's literally no other option for them to do. So I feel so like even more embarrassed because of my, like me being privileged, and sometimes I feel like it's immaturity of just like, okay, bye, instead of like, I don't know.
I think though that you can like recognize that it might be more difficult for someone, and that doesn't mean that it has to be as difficult for you.
That's true.
It doesn't have to be like this miserable thing just because you don't have those same, like you're recognizing your privilege. You're also recognizing that it's difficult for other people, that they like, and being appreciative for what you have, but you don't have to have a miserable like experience, you know? I don't think that's being whiny.
No, I think it's too, it's like it really does make me look in the mirror, and like we talk about finances, but I am not the best when it comes to money. It's not even that I'm not the best, like I think I'm good, but it's like the where my like path has led me is very like, it's not like I have a bunch of money saved or all of this like extra stuff. So it brings on like that extra fear. And then adding on top of just with like the health insurance conversation of me being like, if this was anybody else, they wouldn't be able to do this. And I think that's where it stems from. And I play like back, it's literally goes back and forth. Like I know what I'm doing is right. And it's not like I am going to be not doing anything. Like I have to work. This is not just like an opportunity for me to take a month off my life. Like I can't do that. I'm going to find another job. And I just have to switch my perspective. But like the scary part of my brain or whatever goes to like, see everything proves it, like with the health insurance. That's why I said that, you know what I mean? So I feel like the reason why I'm saying this is because like, it's hard for me to come at it of like, oh, like Funemployment. It's like, I know if there's anybody out there that's in a similar position or wants to leave, like these are real thoughts. Like this is what people feel, and like it's true to feel that way, but also to be like, what you were saying is like, you can still see your privilege and see that this is a decision that you're making and still be okay with it or go through with it and know that it's the right choice. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was even a clear thought, but we made it through.
I thought it was.
Great.
Yeah. And I think to that point, that thought on Funemployment, it is scary. Like, I don't think it's like, okay, now I get to chill and do nothing. I wanted to bring up the fact of like, I've been bored and I've applied for jobs, but it's a waiting game.
Yeah.
And like, I've heard back of like, you're too qualified, or that you're not the right fit or something, because I've just applied for things.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten anything for an interview, but I will admit that I haven't tried that hard. But I have applied. And I don't want to watch TV all day. Yeah. I don't want to like just twiddle my thumbs in my room.
Right.
But I do think it's been helpful because I've like gone on walks and been able to think and started doing Sudoku and like just like using
piano, playing
my literally I played the piano for like 2 hours today because
that.
I just had time.
Yeah.
And I reorganized our storage closet, and I was like, took the dogs on a walk and things like that it's like, okay, maybe that's not productive in like a career sense. Like I'm not making money doing those things, but I feel like I'm reminded of passions that I have. I'm using parts of my brain that I haven't been using in a long time. And I feel like it's allowed me to like think creatively, think about like different options and career paths that I might enjoy. Like looking up the ESL thing last night or yesterday, I was like, I think I would actually really like enjoy that. That would be a job that I'd want to like take some time with that application for.
I love that.
Like, yeah. But it's like, if you would have asked me that when I was still working at my last job, I would have been like, no.
Yeah.
And I think it's more of just like having the time to sit with yourself reminds you of like what you actually enjoy.
Yeah. I had this thought when I was in Florida with my family of like, there was this moment where I think I talked about it, we're all like, there's noise in the background and everybody's doing their thing. And I just like took a second to like even like look around and close my eyes and be like, this is it. Like, this is happiness. I have like coffee in my hand. My family's running around. The next generation is here. Like, this is the moment, like, this is life. Mm-hmm. And I had, like, a lot of, like, reflection on that, too, of, like, breaking down, like, these, like, barriers, including the 9 to 5, of, like, I don't have to, like, drop everything and go travel the world. I love travel. I still want to do that. But, like, there's not this, like, work, big expectation. Like, what is my life broken down into, like, little mini things? And how can I find that little bit of happiness every single day? And I think that feeling is how I feel now that I left my job. Is like, of course, yes, all of this is scary and it's like a lot to deal with for sure. And anybody in this, like, it's never fun to like not have a job, but to like think of it as like, now I have an opportunity to find like little bits of joy. Like, I don't have to do anything. I can just choose what I want to do and find it. When you said like, I did ceramics and then I had this and then I had this, like, that is happiness. Like, that's where you find it out, and you're not living this conventional lifestyle. You're just like doing you. And I love that. And that's how I'm like viewing this whole thing.
Yeah. And I think you should. I feel like it's not like the 9 to 5 isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
Working in a giant company isn't for everyone. Working like the job that you've been doing for the last 5 years doesn't mean you have to do it for the next 30.
Yeah.
I think our generation, the next generation, I think it's been disrupted to the point of like, people know that you can make a life really doing the non-traditional path.
Yeah.
And you'll be okay. And it doesn't make it any easier. But I feel like those type of challenges, are something that I'm like excited about. Not necessarily like, oh, let me motivate myself to get up, to go take the train, to go sit again, to go be in meetings. Like, that's not a fun challenge. I'm actually dreading every second of doing that.
It's hard when you're in the moment, when you're in the shit of just like, oh my God, this is what I'm being faced with. But I just think, as far as like, oh my God, this is what I'm being faced with, is like, money is like how you like live, and when you're not able to do that and you're still not happy, it's blah, blah, reverse all that. This is not making any sense.
Wait, no, you sparked another thought.
Well, go. Cut that out.
No, because I am trying not to spend money right now, as much money as I would usually, because I feel like it was just like, yes, I had a budget, and yes, I was like, but I was living very cush, and I didn't appreciate. This is the thing. This is the constant battle, because I've said it before. When I was so broke, I appreciated everything so much. And now that I'm trying not to spend money all the time, I'm like thinking of creative ways to like fill my time, or like really like cognizant of what I'm ordering if I'm going to eat out, or what I'm going to drink. It's like, I want this to be worth the $16 I'm about to spend. Yeah. And I'm going to appreciate this beverage or this food or whatever. Like, even though I know that I have enough money right now and I will be okay, I just feel like that mindset is so healthy for people. And I feel like when you're in this hamster wheel of working and I gotta make more money, it's like, for what fucking reason?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, same. I think the thing that goes back into my mind is like, I feel, because I live in the past so much, I feel like I have to cushion myself for the future, because I don't want the future me to be like, oh my gosh, what I could have done. But I'm not making moves to that, because I'm not really in a position financially to be like saving up loads or be doing these great trips, which leads me to have like a little resentment, and why I feel like when we talk about careers and my path, like I do feel like I'm like, oh, why did I make the decisions that I make? And those thoughts are so like, they're in my mind all the time. And of course they're in my mind when I'm like quitting my job and trying to find a new career path, because I'm like, if only I did this a bazillion years ago. But I can't really think that way. And to be honest, like, I'm pretty proud of like how far I've come with like my degree, and I worked fucking hard for that, so I should be proud of that.
It's like those memes. Have you seen the memes of like, instead of being in 3rd grade, I should have bought a house or whatever? It's like
literally, Ellie.
That's what it's like. If I would have bought a house 20 years ago, I would be a millionaire now. And it's
that's
like,
literally me.
You're just living.
I know. I am.
Doing your thing.
Yeah. So that is actually really funny. Oh my gosh. But I just think like, to me now I'm just starting like, I know I'm going to spend money. I know I want to go hang out with friends because I remember what it was like when I was living in an area where I literally had no one but like 5 older men. Or like, which sounds really weird that I said it like that, but if you know, you know. Or like in a place where it was like only the family I knew. So like these small moments of like, yes, I'm not traveling, but I wasn't traveling then either. So why do I think that this like light is going to I'm sure I will, and I will make space and time for that. But I'm beating myself up for these like little slivers of happiness that I find. Like, of course it's ridiculous to spend $32 on 2 drinks at the bar, but the drinks were delicious and I was fucking happy.
Yeah,
like,
and it was a great view and we were with good company.
Exactly. Exactly. So for me in that mind is like, I of course 100% appreciate it more, but I also am like allowing myself like, yeah, being like you said, cognizant of where your money goes, but also not like feeling bad about it anymore, because I'm not even going to feel bad about anything, because I felt this way even when I did have a job. Like at least now we're giving ourselves time to, I mean, imagine all of the time you could have spent at your old job before, like your first job that you worked at, like that you spent hours and hours and hours. It's like all this money for what? To not hang out with anybody, to not see it, to let it just like
to literally spend $50 on C's candy and eat it and puke it up.
Exactly.
Such a low spot.
So it's like it's this give and take, and at the end it's like I feel like the hamster wheel is like to work towards this big thing. When at the end of the day, it's like, there is no big thing. This is it.
Life is happening.
Life is literally happening right now.
Yeah. I think it's that, like, grass is always greener mentality that people get stuck in. Of, like, when I have this, or if I was doing this, or whatever, then I'd be happier. Then my life would be good. And it's like, then that happens. And then there's another thing. There's another thing. It's like, and I try not to live this way. I try to be like, I'm going to live for a long, happy life. But there is always a part of me that's like, if I die tomorrow, I want to do something, like, fun now. I want to, like, enjoy what I'm doing. Yeah. Which is why I usually say yes to things and spend a lot of money on stuff. Whatever.
But it's, like, to literally come home and, like, I think it was not last week, but the week before, I was just, like, crying on the floor. I was like, I could not stop. Like, the day was done, and we already talked about it. Like, I went over it with you, and chatted it out, got it out of my system, and I literally just, like, got up, and I think I asked you something, and I was like, we're both, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. It's 7:30. I should be relaxing. Like, this is, why am I doing this? I'm miserable. I'm miserable.
So go quit your job.
Honestly, just reevaluate. Are you where you want to be? Like, what is your hamster wheel for, guys? Break out of it.
Yeah. It's easier said than done.
Yes.
But I do feel like it's worth giving those thoughts some credit. Yeah. And not just being like, oh, no, that's a ridiculous idea. It's like, yeah, maybe, like, make sure that you'll be okay for a second while you figure stuff out or whatever. Or even if you don't, you will figure it out. Because I feel like when you're pushed in those situations, it's like, you got to. Yeah. But to that end, like, if you are miserable, if you're hating, if it's hard to wake up every day to go to work, it's probably time to change, because your life doesn't need to be like that. Yeah. Not saying you'll never have a bad day or a hard week or whatever. Yeah. And that it's going to be sunshine and rainbows with whatever you choose. But are they challenges that are something that you want to get through? Do you see the value in that work?
Absolutely. I recommend doing the career, like, personality, whatever this thing is called, the assessment quizzes or tests or whatever, just a free one. Not necessarily to look at the specific jobs, because I think that sometimes, like, wigs people out when it's like, if it gives you a teacher and you know you don't want to be a teacher. I found it really helpful to see, like, the social, artistic, like, those kinds of things, because it just kind of like ignites me to be like, oh, see, like, I knew I liked something. Like, I knew there's something. It does, yeah, like, it validates. So I recommend you guys doing that and see where you fit in. And I also think don't exclude, we've talked about this so many times, like, take a class, broaden your horizons, ask people around you, like, what they're doing. Get, like, a side hustle, because it doesn't, you know, you don't have to, like, quit your job necessarily to like find something, but if you kind of branch out a little bit and work your way from there, you never know what you're gonna find. So yeah, Funemployment.
Funemployment. Have fun whether you're employed or unemployed. But if you're unemployed, come hang out.
Yeah, come on over. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye. See you next week. Good.